Corpus Christi, a beautiful beach city on the Texas Gulf Coast, with endless palm trees, multi-million-dollar homes, and historic estates lining the picturesque bay, and miles of sprawling shores on Padre Island. And epicenter of a particular genre of music called Tejano, which translates simply to Texas Mexican. On the other side of town, farther inland, are the poorer, working-class neighborhoods, where the Texas Mexicans have struggled to build a culture of their own. Considered too white to be Mexican, too Mexican to be white, Tejanos found a middle ground, a language and musical style that uniquely represented their struggles and their successes. It was from this middle ground that Tejano music emerged. After the Mexican Revolution in 1917, many Germans and Europeans who had migrated to Mexico fled to Texas, bringing with them their music and dance. Adopting the polka and waltz-style accordions and upbeat rhythms, Tejano music was born. The traveling bands of musicians became known as conjuntos, which translates to small ensemble or group. The rambunctious conjuntos were often considered too rowdy for proper society, so another style of Tejano music developed called orchestral, which meant instrumental only, and modeled themselves after big bands like the Tommy Dorsey Orchestra. The orchestral style of Tejano music became popular during the big band era and was a staple of dance halls like the Galvan Ballroom in Corpus Christi. By having Tejano music featured here, the genre became more widely respected and immensely popular. A once almost daily packed ballroom now sits scarcely used. Owner Bobby Galvan tells us more about the ballroom's glory days.
Originally, the ballroom had big name bands, which were international. And I'll show you some of the pictures that we have that were very, very popular at the time. So we would bring in a lot of name bands. And then when the conjuntos started hitting, well, we brought in every conjunto that you can think of. And now, they're not hiring any conjuntos except once in a while. But I want to show you some pictures. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to stop for a minute. Tommy Dorsey, and then his brother Jimmy Dorsey, that was in the 50s. And one of the big bands, well, there was a lot of big bands all over the place. My brother Ralph, he once passed away, had a big band also. And I had a big band at one time. And there was a lot of wonderful bands. Freddie Martinez, who was one of the big Tejano things, he still got his record, Freddie Records. He's still going strong.
Tejano music once again crossed genres in the 90s with the very popular musical artist Selena Quintanilla, known as the Queen of Tejano. She is credited with putting Tejano music on the mainstream map. She recorded several successful records and toured around the world, bringing Tejano music into the international spotlight. Selena won the 1993 Grammy Award for Best Mexican Album and was well on her way to becoming one of the brightest stars in the music industry. Tragically, her life was cut short at age 23, when she was killed by her fan club president in March of 1995. Her death was profoundly mourned and deeply impacted her family, multitudes of fans, and fellow artists. Selena was immortalized in the movie Selena, starring Jennifer Lopez and Edward James Ullman. Even in death, Selena remains an icon of modern Tejano music, especially in her hometown of Corpus Christi. Her legacy is carried on by her father Abraham Quintanilla and her siblings who own and manage her record label Q Productions, continuing to produce new Tejano music and artists. My grandfather, keyboardist Ruben Duque, and the band he plays with, Quemado, are one of the many signed recording artists at Q Production. My grandfather, like so many Tejano musicians of his generation, grew up in a modest house in a poor neighborhood, and there became lifelong friends with fellow musicians, including Selena's father Abraham and his Quemado bandmates Rudy Buga Perales, Mandy Aguilar, David Anzaldúa, and the late Joe Wajo Carmona.
The name of our group is Quemado. It's Spanish for experienced. When you're burned out, you're experienced. Quemado. We came out of junior high school. We were a garage band for a few years, trying to make music, and we were novice, if I may.
Well, it started when I went to middle school, and I wanted to play in the band. So basically, we all started playing band instruments and learning music and learning how to read music.
As we grew a little older, out of high school, our group was established as a local group, and the next step was to record. So we were introduced into the recording studio as a young, up-and-coming local band.
The first group we started with the current members was called La Herencia. And it was a conglomerate of musicians that got together and created this sound, if you will. And we recorded our first album, and we wound up getting the #1 song off of it, and lasted on the #1 charts for 13 weeks.
But through the years, we learned how to play together, which is the key of any band. It's not how intricate you play individually, but it's how well you play with each other as a musical group.
Tejano music to me means, as we were kids growing up, our parents would listen to Mexican music all the time. Obviously around the house, that's what was being played. And from listening to that, you know, it was sort of like ingrained. You know, you listen because your mom and dad listened to that music, and of course you were getting earfuls of it. And so then that's when we got together and started saying, hey, we can create our own sound using Mexican songs, which became Tejano music.
Personally, to me, because everybody has an opinion, and we have thousands of musicians that play this type of music right now in our modern day era. But me being old school, through the years I have been able to absorb all genres of music. Country, bluegrass, rhythm and blues, soul music, Mexican music, salsa, all these types of music that were put in a melting pot. It was stirred, and Tejano music was bred out of that melting pot for me, which is I am so proud and so honored to be able to say that I'm part of this type of music that is not too widely known. But I am so blessed to have been able to see our young sister, rest in peace, Selena Quintanilla, that took it to another level. And now we're worldwide, we're global. Tejano is global because of Selena, okay? And I am so proud to be able to have played with Selena's father, Abraham Quintanilla, with the original Dinos, before Selena was even born.
After a lifetime of musical achievements, respectively, all 4 band members of Quemado have had the honor of being inducted into the Tejano Roots Hall of Fame. Inducted in January 2016, my grandfather said, "As a musician, you never do it for the award, you do it for the love of music. It's a humbling experience to be recognized." But Quemado wasn't always a 4-piece band. These Hall of Famers are back in the studio recording their latest album, a tribute to the 5th member of Quemado, their beloved musical brother, the late Joe Waho Carmona. Before his death in 1983, Waho was considered the leader and heart of the band. His guitar and vocals remain the inspiration for Quemado and many other musicians today. The new album Grupo Quemado 35th Anniversary is scheduled for release in October 2016. Dedicated to Joe Waho Carmona, the tribute album features some of the top Tejano artists today, including Carlos Guzman, Eddie Perez, and Jesse Serreta, bringing Waho's music back to life. From humble beginnings to international fame, the roots of Tejano music remain deeply embedded in the soil of its cultural history. Quemado and groups like them are the latest incarnation of the continuing evolution of a genre that is as adaptive and expansive as the people who created it. It is a surviving style of music that has united a people of outcasts and transformed them into an enduring global family.
I'd like to take just a few seconds out to thank Solon Rodriguez for this little interview, for his hard work and his determination to make this project become a reality.